Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the official Nick Walsh TV channel. Welcome back to more Spin and Goes on Nick Walsh TV. We're playing more spins. Today we're playing $25 stakes as per usual, and we're trying to make this graph go up. So here we are again, guys. We have returned. Yesterday's session was not much to report. I don't think we did it a lot wrong. We actually had a couple interesting hands to do in the study session as well, which we covered at the end if you guys want to go check that out. Pretty much not a lot going on. Lots of cold decks still not going our way. And we're looking for a biblical upswing in order to rectify this very flat looking graph. I do think we're probably one or two big upswings away from getting close to our average chip EV, even though this year has been particularly testing. So this is what we're going to work on, guys. We're playing 25s. Let's get straight into the action. Let's try and get some volume going. And I'll have a chat with you guys as we get underway. Welcome back, all of the regular viewers. Hello, Tom. Hello, Joni in the chat. I see you guys there. I got to turn on YouTube as well really quick. Apologies if everything is a bit slow today, guys. I'm still trying to get on this time zone. And it has been... tricky because... Vegas was absolutely majestic. Had a great time in Vegas. If you guys didn't hear me talk about it yesterday. However, time zones are a thing, and I'm just trying to get on this time zone. We're not a million miles off. Honestly, like I said yesterday, I actually think we're doing pretty well in that department. I don't think we ever really got on the Vegas time proper, so I'm just sort of trying to reset to a more normal sleep schedule. Myself and Ruthie both struggling in that department, but we're getting there. I'm feeling good about today's session. So let's lock in. Let's try and win some EV today. And I think I got most of it ready. I'm just going to grab a drink really quick in a second, guys, and then we will be underway in our Wednesday session. Cool. We have all of our notes, I believe. We have all of our notes. We have our chats. Got YouTube now as well. And let me make sure we turn on this as well. Lovely. That's a bit more like it. There we go. Okay, sweet. Cool. So now 5 deuce of hearts. I'd say probably still a hand we could sneak in there with in the 3x multiplier. We're going to try and avoid those against the reg as much as possible, though. We're not going to win too many chips there, even at the best of times. It's a bit bright there. That's how big and bright my screen is, guys. I open a browser window with a white screen, and it just blinds you like a spotlight. All right, all in pretty clear here. No real deviation there. I think the queen 10 is a very clear shove. King 5 probably no good here with the big blind being as shallow as they are. I have to say, guys, the new desk chair is very luxurious. I'm a big fan. It is absolutely stunning piece of furniture. All right, bear with me, guys. I'm just going to grab some hydration and we will crack on. I'm not sure what's happened to my... Not sure what happened to my proper... proper cup. Ace-8 definitely going in the middle there if we have to. King-6, I'd say still a go here. We're at around pretty much 10. This should be totally fine. Again, I would be surprised if this isn't just straight GTO. And the JT is a clear push here, sub 10 big blinds effective. In an ideal world, your opponents just fold. That's usually the best outcome there. Very rarely getting called by worse, but the shove is still going to be profitable. 4. No 4. It's very reasonable. Definitely never folding a pair there, especially against the reg. And the 10-9 can go here. Your opponent should call most of the deck. Jack-8 is definitely in there. No good. All right. 2 seconds, guys. Sorry, guys. That took a lot longer than expected. As I say, I'm running just a smidge behind schedule today. But I feel like now we're good. 2x multiplier in the next game. Tom saying, how was Vegas, Nick? Sorry, I didn't hear yesterday. All good, all good. It was good. It was fantastic. I had a really nice time. Long story short, from yesterday, just to sort of reiterate, massive shout out to Carrie Jane and the Hippodrome team, and thank you very much once again for inviting me along. The event itself was fantastic. The crowd was fantastic. The events that they organized for us were fantastic. It was beautiful sunshine, and when I say beautiful sunshine, you guys will know in Vegas means absolute liquid death in fuego, fireball territory. I think we're gonna go out on a limb here and just do this. Yeah, big fan. It was super good. I didn't get a chance to play as much poker as I would have liked. Fair enough. We are beating some hard draws, diamond draws, straight draws there on the river, so there's not really much reason to continue bluffing. The trays as a push here I think is good. No, it was great, honestly. No complaints. We never really got on that time zone. As I said yesterday as well, Vegas is just a hostile environment to my body. The arid desert air just is in such contrast to the way that I live here in Brighton. So getting used to that, my lips were chapped, and you know, pretty crazy in that regard. How's it going, Gil? Welcome back. Didn't get to play as much as I wanted, Tom. Did end up playing a couple of cash sessions, which were very profitable, very enjoyable. Yeah, look, he might have a deuce here. We can't be folding just yet, though. And the 6 of diamonds is actually not a particularly good river for us. If he lets us get to showdown here, I think that's going to be a good thing. Quite often. Call lead queen 7 of spades, I think, is unusual. I'm going to mark this one for review. Definitely a call here. Let's mark that one for review, because I do think that is not a line. I don't think the queen 7 of spades is a thing. Queen 8 suited mark. Let's take a look at the way that he's supposed to play his hand there. That's an unfortunate run out. So he calls with queen 7 of spades and then he leads the deuce. I don't think so. I mean, if anything, check raising queen 7 more than flatting. The flat, I think, is perfectly fine, though. I don't think we ever flat and then lead the deuce, though. I'm not sure. Let's take a proper look at it in a little bit. Were the free drinks flowing? No, no, absolutely not. In fact, Tom, I don't know around what time you joined yesterday. However, we were discussing, you know, how Vegas has changed. The free drinks thing is not really a thing, in my opinion, anymore. Like, you absolutely will get the occasional free drink if you're playing. I would say if you're playing poker, you're probably a lot more likely because you're just in one stationary position for an extended amount of time, and there's usually dedicated waitresses to the room. So when I was in playing cards and I was actually playing poker, I would say we were getting a fair number of, like, legit free drinks. And it was coming at a reasonable pace. If you're just out on the gaming floor, if you're playing craps or you're playing blackjack or you're whatever, it was sparse, man. Very sparse. This was a trip where, because I was doing more touristy stuff with Ruth or because I was doing more family stuff, I would say we spent tons in a fashion which I wouldn't have previously done on other Vegas trips. Usually locked in on poker, playing cards, a lot of freebies associated with that, or a lot of free drinks or whatever. When you're just doing Vegas as a tourist and you're just doing it slow and you're going to restaurants, you're going to proper bars, you're going to proper touristy events, I think you end up paying a big whack. Alright, guys. Sorry about that. That was unfortunate. We played that game very well. Just did not win any all-ins. On the day that we went to go play poker, Tom, when I went to the Venetian, however, service was very good. The poker game was very good, very good. I was quite unlucky not to book a 1K plus 1K session. I lost a big-ish. It wasn't actually that big. I lost a pretty big pot where I bluffed this guy. Almost got him to fold aces, and even after he called, I still had a combo draw. So I think I played well. The guy was really on the cusp of folding, which was great for us. Still managed to be like plus 400. On that day, I had probably about 5 small white Russians and like 3 mudslides. The mudslides thing was kind of a meme on the table. I wouldn't usually order that. What's up? Mr. Crazy in the chat, hello. 3x steal, unknown player, 8-7 off. 3x multiplier. Let's be really regimental with our pre-flop here today. Let's be very strict. I would say ace king is a very reasonable hand to put in here. Very unfortunate. Nice hand, sir. Got the opportunity to win some EV, which is nice. $3x multiplier. Let's do one of our goofy moves. We do get action from the button, which is nice. Let's start with this. In fact, let's start with this. And then we can shove the turn. Wish me luck, guys. Very good spot. King 7. King 7 again. Eight, 7 suited. We are loving this hand. Very, very high value hand in the game of No Limit Hold'em. Interesting spot there, actually. Let's take a look at the Queen 7 hand. We fold Queen 7 on that flop. There's a chance we're supposed to continue with some of our Queen highs. I would imagine having backdoor hearts would be enough, like Queen 8, Queen 7 of hearts, for example, would probably be appropriate. So let's go ahead and check that one out. Now, 2 streets here I think is going to be quite effective. I think if we were to bet something like 2.5, we're not going to get check jammed on all that often. Okay, I'm not sure why that's not working. We might be out of battery with the new... Might be out of battery with the new bad boy keyboard. Also, the aces there actually might be a... The aces might actually be a better hand to check back there. Let's mark that one for review too. Queen 7 takes the river. Nice. $75. Good stuff. 2 live cards wins some of the time. I did make the mistake of leaving my new keyboard on while I was going. See if we can bring this guy back to life. Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside. Save me. Woo! Too much blue, too much light, too much purple. Can we just get a little smidge of blue? Jesus, that's a lot of blue. Said you love me, girl, but you've been known to lie. Call your number on the telephone, son. Woke up this morning with you. All right, small victory against King of Poker. Small victory. I would say that his play is pretty much flawless, though, as per usual. Now, there are benefits to just straight betting this flop. I would imagine that this is going to be fine. Checking is probably also okay as well at that stack depth. King Jack. I would say we can still sneak in here with the limp. He's going to show a lot of his offsuit kings here that we have dominated. Also playing this hand in position is generally going to be approved. On this texture, checking on Jack 5-5 is fine. We are going to do the same with quite a few of our high card combos. We're controlling the spot to a certain degree if he has a 5 once in a while. Interesting. Might still go for value with a 5, given the fact that we checked the flop now. Possibly value with an 8. And obviously we're going to go for the whole lot now. Wouldn't be surprised to see bet fold. Small victory against King of Poker again. And the 10 deuce is going to go here as well. It's not a good hand, but he's got no big blinds, so we have to commit. And he will have to call with much worse hands. Right, so 10 deuce trade 4, very close in terms of pre-flop equity. A little bit frustrating not to win that one. And the ace queen going to go in the middle here. Our opponent should be calling with most of the deck here too. 10-6 is very fair. Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose? Dunbar, thank you very much, mate, for the sub. 16 months. Hello there, my friend. Hello. All right, let me see if I can do this, but turn it down. It's still too warm. I need backlighting. I need colored backlighting and not forelighting. Still looks a little bit better. All right, we're working on it, guys. We're still working out the kinks in the new office. We will get there, though. Hello, 10x multiplier. Hello. All right, let's get the notes ready, guys. We are documenting all of our 10x multipliers or higher and our performance in said games. We're going to start this one out with a steal, blind be blind, ace-6 of the offsuit variety. We have not got there. We're going to start small, and we're going to give up if we see any continuation here. Should have a fair amount of the deck that just completely whiffs here. You know, 8-9 suited, 6-7 suited, 5-6 suited, all those kinds of hands. I'm going to mark that one for review as well. I do just think it's too pure of a bet on the flop to miss. That small bet should probably be quite effective there, but let's take a look and see if we can't learn anything about how GTO approaches that one. Hey, Zintax, good to see you, mate. Thank you very much for popping in today. Does he ever lose? This guy. Pocket trays. Pretty straightforward jam. This should get a lot of folds. Sometimes ace king flip. Mark that one for review as well. I don't know why we're marking it for review. That seems pretty textbook, but we are going to give ourselves the opportunity to learn if we can. Okay, we're going to be more diligent. We're going to cry less, and we're going to be more diligent in these situations. My sub brought the 10x run good. Let's go. See if we can get the run good to win it too. Hey, Poker Bros, good to see you, mate. Bros, you missed it. We were discussing old Orleans, Las Vegas poker stories yesterday. Had a conversation with my friend Daniel Williams, poker, today as well. He was saying about how much he's enjoyed that club over the years as well. King of Poker gives me a walk with ace-9. Ace queen diamonds. Now, how are we going to play this one? Let's sneak in a little limper here. Let's see if we can't sneak in a little limperoo. Hand is pretty well disguised. I don't see betting working particularly well here with a hand this strong. Okay, doesn't bet flop. Interesting. I would say probably a decent opportunity for us to take the lead now on the turn.
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Team 651, thank you very much for the raid. We're going to check and we're going to reconsider on the river here, guys. We have a lot of showdown at this point. Random 7, kind of annoying. Random deuce, kind of annoying. I don't think he has a king or a 9 that often here. He will have missed spades. He will have missed spades, and therefore this is tricky. So if we're narrowing this down to maybe a 9, probably never a 7 if he's betting the river, probably a lot of missed spades. I think we end up having to call quite frequently. The random deuce that trips up, obviously the most disguised possible hand for him to have is what gets paid. Very frustrating. Oh, team 651. I managed to have the internet crash into 1K spin with a 4-1 heads up chip lead. I hope you run better. I'm gonna try. We just ran into a classic cold deck there on that river. As I say, it's never a 7 at that point. I don't think he plays a 9 like that too often. He's not going to play the flush draw on the flop like that in position too often either, unless it's a really good one, which would usually indicate a raise pre-flop. So we have managed to at least min cash here, guys. In the 10x multi, we win a little bit here for second place. What's up, Pumplex? Good to see you. And we're going to send this one. Team 651, thank you so much. If you're coming from over from Team 651, consider giving me a follow. We are trying to play spinning goes this year. We're trying really, really hard. Just out of interest, let's take a look at the ace-queen spot as well for review. Tough spots all around. We got to update our chart as well here. So we got 10x multiplier and no good in this one. We came second in this one as well. So far, guys, in our 10x multipliers this year, we're showing a 50% win rate as in first place, 75% ITM, and we've lost 25% outright. So betting this flop is probably going to be fine. My spidey senses say we should take a check here against that weird, awkward, small blind, non-existent flatting range. And on the turn, double gut shot. Can we get there? That's very nice. That is nice. Now, I'm going to say bigger here is probably better. I think this is probably the best course of action. Is it not? No. Against this guy, this is better. Got him. Turns up here with King 10 offsuit, so the size down was appropriate. The jam, perhaps a little bit too scary for the king. Thank you very much for the follow, Vinny. If you guys are new, my name is Nick. My name is Nick Walsh. I am a member of Team PokerStars Pro, and I am a PokerStars ambassador.
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
And generally speaking, I talk a lot about poker on the internet.
Does he
Commentary.
ever
Always nuts, mate. Thank you for the follow.
lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Made a top pair. I don't really see how calling is any good here. Straight into an overpair. Lucky 2-pair on the turn. Let's mark this one for review as well. Again, I just don't know. Just don't know what to tell you. Theoretically, we should be doing fine. Will they have an overpair sometimes? Absolutely. That's a great example of a spot where they should, but we are not going to defend that hand just to give it up. Thanks for the follows, guys. That's Johnny Boy Radio, Vinny, and always nuts, mate. Thanks for the follows, guys. me see if I can fix this button as well. My hotkey. Check call. That's weird. Check call tile back. Replay hobby. So at the moment, I've got a betting hotkey that is pre-flop 99 big blinds. We should also be looking at let's see if that works. Ace 10 never folding here. 0% fold from the ace 10, just running straight into ace queen. Not ideal. What can we do? Next hand. Unmasked Streamer, what's up? Good to see you. Afternoon. I need to play with this chair a little bit still. It's very, very comfortable. Needs to be a little bit stiffer in the back, though. If you know what I mean. I think I need a hex key to increase the resistance, though. Oh, man. I know it just looks like your average headrest, but there's something about the shape of it. It like elongates your spine like in your neck. Oh, feels so good. I'm doing pretty good, man. Living the dream every single day with ace king of diamonds. Snap call in the big blind. Cool. Cool. That feels pretty cool. That does feel pretty snazzy. Ace 10 of diamonds, pretty snazzy.
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Sensitive Tony, thank you so much for the tier 1. You are a legend, my friend. Yeah, it needs to just be a little bit more. Wants a little bit more resistance. Hey, Specky, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, Senor. This is probably a call. But I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it today. Science be damned. This is the one I actually liked. And we run into Ace 10. Sensitive Tony, there isn't enough time in the day for me to watch all the sport and poker I want to watch. I feel you, man. I feel you. There's a lot going on. I have to say, every single year, you guys know I'm not the biggest football fan. Every time the World Cup comes around, I am often moved by the event in a way that other football does not. I think this has been a very interesting tournament. There's been a lot going on. Some of the games have been amazing. The England game the other day for me was like incredible. Really, really, really cool to watch. It's been fun. Yeah, I have actually like legitimately look forward to watching the bits and bobs. Pumplex wants a link to the chair. All right, let me see what I got for you, buddy.
Does he ever lose?
So it's very, 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 very customizable.
Does he ever lose?
It's very customizable, this one, and therefore it's hard to tell you exactly which one. I don't know if I send you guys, if I send you my version of it, I'm not sure if you'll actually see my version of it. Because there's lots of customizable options. Let me see if I can remember how we built this one. And maybe it'll save, and then you can actually see it for yourself. So this was a meeting chair, task chair. It was Duron with that, and then it was frame color, graphite. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Textile, it was this L black. Something like that. And then it was not that one, it was the tall cylinder. And then it was glides, and then it was powder coated. And that's not right, it was...
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Overfolding versus the Brazilian. Yeah, because I don't feel like it. King 10. King 10. King 10. Look, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but this is something like what we went for. Who was it for? complex. Something like that. Now, don't freak out. It's a very expensive chair, but there were some caveats. Number one caveat, I am VAT registered, therefore immediately 20% of that comes off. In addition to that, of course, it's a business expense, so therefore isn't subject to income tax. So the money that I spend on it isn't taxed additionally once it's withdrawn into my name. And I'm pretty sure that we got another 15 or 20% off using a code. So let's say roughly 40% off the advertised price there. I think that works. Let's do this. Wow, nice. And I have to say, this is probably the nicest chair I've ever had. It's really, really nice. And I've had Herman Millers and all sorts. Cool. Keep the game alive. Lopez. Senor Lopez. Hey, Brian Hickman, good to see you. Hello, Nick. Does PokerStars still have poker security? Oh my God, yes, absolutely. They are one of the only websites on planet Earth that has a proper, dedicated security department that is not outsourced. Absolutely, 100% yes. I actually know some of those guys. I've actually had some meetings with some of those guys before. PokerStars security is second to none. I paid $80 for my current chair, always getting backache. I mean, even that last Herman Miller that I got, granted, it was one of the cheaper Herman Millers, and also it was purchased on the basis that Ruthie liked the look of it rather than its apex ergonomic design. Although any Herman Miller for the price that you pay should have solid ergonomics. I'm a tall guy though, so to be fair, it probably would be okay for some people, but for me, it's not good enough. And actually having that headrest, oh my God. I'm telling you, when you get in this position and you kind of slide down a little bit, I can feel the vertebrae in my neck like... Honestly, playing poker like this is the one. I'm not sure how good this looks on camera. I probably look like it's giving Warcraft South Park Warcraft guy, but oh man, it's nice, really nice in the neck. I feel so much better for it immediately. So much better for it. I don't think we can really pass up this spot, guys. Let's run it. Lucky Jable. Nice. We'll mark this for review, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be textbook. You know, everyone's very short stacked, so the effective stack there is very low, and therefore it's just like, whatever, dude. Cool. Let's keep all the bluffs in here. Let's keep all the bluffs in. Poker Pro says I knew it would be 2K plus. First of all, it's not even 2K. It's less than 2K. But we got like over 40% off. So, you know, just chill. Chill yabate. Oh, I thought we were gonna do it for a second there. I thought there was a little chance, a little glimmer of hope there for us. Chill yabate. Gladiator. Do something crazy. Do something crazy. Nice. Brian Hickman says, okay, I hope you're right. Waiting for a collusion report from PokerStars 6 weeks now after they migrated to FanDuel. So there will absolutely be on that, mate. Obviously, I'm not part of that department. I don't have oversight on exactly where they are with that. However, what I would also probably indicate is, number one, there will be a dedicated department for that specifically, and they take that stuff very seriously. They have some very, very powerful tools for detecting, but also sort of analyzing what you're describing. I would also go out on a limb and say that if we're talking about a U.S. facing report, you have to remember as well that that pool is probably even easier to spot those kinds of things and to also analyze those sorts of things. So if the team is handling it over there, I'm sure you're in good hands. Brian says, when did you meet some of their security personnel? Well, I've been with PokerStars since 2019. I'm sure I've met some of these guys face to face. I actually I had a party went to a birthday party in Amsterdam for a mutual friend, and I met some of the guys that were previously on that team as well face to face. I actually met them and discussed some of that stuff, and it's very interesting. I have met some of our current security staff on voice call probably on at least 3 occasions since 2019. Again, it's not really any reason for our departments to interact unless we're literally reporting directly to them, or if we're meeting specifically to convey information like this. I think on the 3 occasions we met, it was once just to introduce themselves and to meet the team. On the second occasion, I think we were discussing changes that were being made for the better for our security. And then on the third occasion, it was because I think Stars was putting together a kind of document, if you will, of like what tools that they're using, and they wanted to make it more front facing as to what they can detect and how they do it, without giving away too much, of course. Otherwise it makes it easier for people to try and circumvent the controls in place. So yeah, I mean, actually interacted with those guys on several occasions, both face to face and online. Okay, let's play this one. Let's play this one as a steal. Bathroom, bathroom, mom, bathroom. Let's start with a small bet here. I'm going to take this one out. Well, there you go. Brian Hickman over on Twitch chat. Strag Official, aka Chris Strigalis, aka Chris Strigalis the Legend, did used to run that department for 2 years. I actually didn't know that. I actually did not know that about you, Strag. Shocking that at this point in our friendship, still mysteries. All right, Pocket Kings. Oh, 2 regs, 2 regs, 2 regs, 2 regs, 2 regs. Let's just do it anyway. Let's do it anyway. Let's do it anyway. Can we get the Brazilian to bite? No, it's fine. Sweet. This is exciting, guys. So as I mentioned yesterday, this weekend, I will be attending the Handed Mob Championship in Nottingham for Dust Till Dawn, or at Dust Till Dawn, I should say. And I am very pleased to have been told just now I will also be playing in the Invitational Sit and Go, which is a streamed event, if you guys want to watch that. So 4 Handed Mob guests, 4 Dust Till Dawn winners. South Africa package for the winner. I believe that's with Sun Poker, if I'm not mistaken. A South African live events company. 8 prizes total. Basically, everyone wins a prize that day. Wow. High roller seat and a main event seat. Oh my god. Well, that is very exciting. Of course, the main event as well. Looking forward to that. You know me, I don't like to brag. Got to keep the mystery going. Well, there you go, Brian Hickman. There you have it. Chris Strigalis, also previously a PokerStars security guy. Why is this collusion report taking so long? Look, I like I said, I'm sorry, it's not my department. All I can tell you is what I know about the department itself, and you know, having worked alongside these guys and discussed some of the details, you know, these teams are very, very good at what they do. Some of the best in the industry. I don't know how long a normal collusion report takes. You know, I don't really want to add too much more to it because, you know, again, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, and ideally it's something that's being looked into as we speak. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you're having a poor support experience. I'm hoping that they can get that resolved swiftly. We can probably get away with check raising this one, guys. We have backdoor clubs, backdoor straight draw on a board where our opponent should be able to bet fold a fair amount. Cheeky. All right. Sorry to hear that, mate. Like I said, if I can ever be of assistance, please let me know. However, I'm afraid I can't be of any assistance on that. Aside from, you know, being a sounding board. We'll get this one marked for review as well. The King 6 suited shove here I think is spot on. We've got a couple of nice hands for review already, guys. We're actually gonna have some good review later on. Against the reg and the 2x, let's just take this spot. This is going to be Nash. What's up, Mac? Good to see you. Did I just see Nick hold on a flip and win back-to-back spins? I mean, I'm really hoping that this is the start of something new here, Strag. Strag! Yes! Yes! No, it's all over. It's all over. The curse has ended. Strag tried his best to come in and do switch me again. We pulled it off. We actually did it, you guys. Oh, mate. Yes. Yes, the 5 on the river. Yes, mate. Thank you so much. All right, let's go. Picking up a win. Feeling good. Next game. Unknown player on the right. Red Dragon is unknown. 3x multi as well. Sure. Let's take a look. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get a flop here. PDF. Okay, this is just the event PDF. So Thursday. So what day is that? It's a Friday night invitational. Okay, cool. So we'll probably play that on the Friday then. Yeah, that's fine. And then Saturday has another main event day. Cool. Cool. I think we're going to try with this guy on the button specifically. King of Poker is going to attack this limp so aggressively it feels like you're torching, but we should get there a decent amount of the time. Okay, let's start betting now. I don't mind going quite big here. The king is never going to fold. The diamonds are never going to fold. We should do fine here with a reasonable lead. And on the river, I think check is interesting. King can still value bet. The missed diamonds can still blast here. We've definitely played our hand in a way that can get paid. Our opponent turns up here with 8-9 with the 9 of diamonds. So it's a perfect check because we're never going to get 9 had a call there. Let's take the push on this one. Someone turned off the Doom switch back to the off position. Things fell apart after I left. Perfect. I think at this point I'm going to omit this one. King of Poker is going to be too aggro here. So you can confirm while you were working by the Doom switch that it was permanently on. I know what happened. Strag swung by the office. He went to the old HQ to say hi to some friends. Not to say hi to friends. It was in fact just to check the server with the big red button. Still flipped on. It was in fact not to visit friends. It was simply to confirm that the official NickWalshTV server was still switched on and the Doom switch was still popping. I refer to further inquiries from my legal team. Yukora, thank you very much for the good luck. Live cards is fine here. I'm okay with this. We lose very little in that all in there. That's fine. Said you love me, girl, but you've been known to lie. Boo, 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 boo. Um... Not sure about that one. I'd say probably it's approved on equity alone, but tricky. Trey's double. Trey's double. Okay, the grind continues. Ace, Jack, 2x multiplier. Cat's going to give me 2 big blinds here, which I accept gratefully. Never mind. It was a larger donation than 2. Unfortunately, not going to win. Despite having the best hand. Said you love me, girl. Am I registered for 2? There's a weird little glitch there. Okay, yeah, it was 2. There was a little bit of a glitch there, guys. This is 2 games. I might have a thing for this. Alright, bear with me. Said you love me, girl, but you've been known to lie. There we go. That's more like it. What's up, Smeebs? Good to see you, buddy. And if we get raised, we're not folding, obviously. Cool. I think our size in that river is, it is possible for us to kind of induce to a certain degree. Thank you for the good luck, Smeebs. Does he ever lose, this guy? Does he ever lose? Again, 8-9 is probably going to get close there on the left. I'm not good enough to know what to do there, so we're just going to fold. Queen 4, not quite. 2 shorter stacks in the big blind here, especially with the short stack on our left. I think this is clean. We're going to get some action off the shorty. Both players call with ace-10 would be nice. We can beat ace-7, that's cool. So again, Zell, the queen-6 here is probably got to go in the middle. I would say this is probably not even close against the reg. We should have significant equity against that range. In fact, slight advantage even. Queen 4 now is going to be a limp. King of poker is too good. We're going to give him that one on the right-hand side. Ace-10 for sure, going absolutely nowhere. 6-5 of hearts is going to be a push. 8-7 suited, not all in. 8-9 suited, not all in, I think is probably how we play this one. I get these ones confused. This is definitely fine, but we're going to mark this one for review because I think, if I remember correctly, it's like 5-4 suited, 6-5 suited shove, 8-7 suited, 8-9 suited, 9-7 suited as large ISOs. So let's mark that one for revisal. I don't know how much value we get on the left-hand side here. Our opponent isn't going to have an ace or a queen too often, and once we've limped, we can still get called by a 10. The king X doesn't really exist over here, so I think a check is probably okay. See if they can pick up some equity on the turn, and we'll try and punish from there. Okay, nice. And then I think we just push. We can still get called by some 2 pairs here. The club draw is obviously punished here too. Pretty significant pickup there. Check on the flop obviously wins us a couple extra chips. Ace-7 all in. The UK running deep in the cup? Yeah, England is, you're right. The rest of the UK, not so much. Good point, Strag. Jack high like a boss. Definitely calling here. No good on the all-in. Queen deuce snap call there for 3 bigs. Not even close. Not even remotely close. 7 big blinds. 7 biggers. Not even remotely close with the king 8. Not even remotely close. All right, we're winning some battles here, guys. We're We're actually winning a couple battles here and there. Feels pretty cool. Top pair and a flush draw. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong, guys? What could possibly go wrong? Ugh, feels really bad now, doesn't it? Ugh, is this like a classic Walsh setup here? Classic Walsh setup. We take it. We take it. All right. Radev, the man himself. Cool turn. Will Radev bite if we check on this river? I think we might do better just betting ourselves like this. He might even raise the one big blind. It doesn't feel very strong, does it? Feels like a 7 or a deuce trying to make a move. Yeah, okay, cool, sure. Sure. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Sure. Fuck me, dude. It's absolute life tilt spot. Just absolutely silly, isn't it, guys? Isn't it? Isn't it, chat? It's really a very silly situation. So out of interest, guys, let's try and keep this positive. Let's mark this hand for review. Not the queen 8, sorry, the 8 deuce spot we just played. I think probably textbook again from us. Definitely not folding. The check pre is gonna be good. Probably some raising. Turn lead, I don't think exists on this texture just because we're not going to have as many strong hands that we could theoretically lead with. The bluffs don't really exist there as much. And then obviously the bet one call jam, 100% of the time. So let's just take a look at that spot overall and let's see if we can learn anything more. But super annoying in what was otherwise a very good game for us. You know, just 0% chance we are not going to do a stack there. King of Poker. The king of the pokers. King of all the pokers. Nicholas Golden Nugget Walsh. What's up, Lawler? Good to see you, mate. Said you loved me, girl, but you've been known to lie. Probably still okay here. Raquenya. Raquenya. A pair of deuces that never loses. Can we get a deuce to showdown? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Can we get a deuce to showdown? This is a tough one now. Oh, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like a hero to me, and I'm good at the heroes. So if that doesn't feel like a hero, then we probably need to be... Oh. That was a misclick. That... No! Oh no, that was a complete misclick. Oh, fuck. Oh no. Oh, it's gonna look like fucking garbage on the fucking... Oh my god, it's gonna look like garbage on the graph, and it's gonna tilt the hell out of me now. Oh no, guys, I was folding. I literally said out loud that I was folding. Oh, fuck's sake. What am I like, dude? Why do I do this to myself? Why? Why do I do that to myself? Oh, just so gross. So gross. You enjoyed being the Korean babysitter? How was your actual Korean language skills, Lawler? How are your actual Korean language skills? Oh, so annoying. Oh, fudge. I literally looked away, and when I went back, I'm like, why are all my chips in the middle? Also, by the way, we have bottom pair, which is the best hand on the turn, and the flush draw, and our opponent hits the offsuit flush, offsuit straight, excuse me. Cool. So we run bad twice. Oh, mate, that's so annoying.
Surprise, I felt it in my eyes. I see you and I scream, oh God, you got me. So good, it's so unfair. You know you got me there.
It's above average. Pronunciation is good. Vocab is mid. I speak to my mom in Korean. Nice. I think it'd be really cool to speak Korean. I feel like there's a chance I was destined to be Korean. Zero, zero. Leads. Why is Leads calling me? Oh my god. Why do we run so bad? Cool. The bottom pair misclick button, not ideal. Does anyone ever fold blind v blind anymore? It's not a thing, is it? Never. Never get a steal through it. Alright, king, queen, let's go. You can learn the Korean alphabet in less than a week. It's easy because it's very phonetic. EPT cast in Korea. EPT cast in Korean would be interesting, yeah. I think we can probably do this. What's the poker scene like in Korea, actually? I feel like I have looked this up at some point. Clearly don't remember. Cool. All right. Can we knock this Bretta over? Can we knock this brethren over? It's growing, but it's illegal for Koreans. Jeju has tried an inch on it. Yeah, right. That, I feel... yeah, Jeju has Triton. I reckon that's a cool place to visit, though. I do kind of want to bluff here. Let's try it. Koreans are only allowed to gamble in crypto in the stock market. Very degen, lots of leverage. I'd like to look into trading as well. Yeah, Kings is a good hand. I'd say Kings is a pretty good hand, guys. What do you think? All right, we'll look this one up shortly. Let's mark that one for review. I'm pretty sure that we can shove Queen 4 there at low frequency. Running into Kings is not really very good, is it? You might go to Gods of Poker series. Incheon. Incheon. Onion. Onion. Yeah, that's definitely high up on my list. I definitely want to do some of Korea as well. Why are we getting min-raised here? My goodness. Bum, 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 bum. Requenia, do you have the nuts? Do you have the nuts, sir? Do you have the nuts? Do you have the best hand? Do you just have aces here every time? Do you just have aces and kings and queens? So you could still have like 10s and 9s and 8s and call us here. Or he just has the nuts as usual. All right, let's put that in the review pile. I would imagine there's basically no universe where we ever play the hand differently. You just hope that your opponents don't always have the nuts. I mean, legitimately on that river, we can still get called by king high, ace high, no problem. So it's not as though we're really stretching ourselves thin to find hands that want to call on that particular kind of board. Luminar says no rockin' tunes for subbing. Oh, what happened? Does he ever lose is activated? I don't see any sub though, mate. Oh, Tom resubbed for 6 months tier 1. 59 minutes ago. Talking about that one. Does he ever lose? Sorry if there was a missed prime sub. It's not popping up. I don't think actually it's went through, mate. That's the problem. I'm not seeing it in the activity feed. Let's mark the ace-8 suited as well. Say all of this is textbook again. Possibly the worst turn in the deck. Very possibly the worst turn in the deck. And if there's no bet, interesting. 5, 6. Let's try and get to showdown. JT. Straight into ace queen for less than 10 big blinds. And we do get lucky, which is nice. All right, we completed a continent, by the way. 60K jet set all-in shootout. Let's open up this one over here. All right, all-in shootout, nice. And let's go back to the grind. Fernande on the left. Don't know this guy. Haven't played with him before. Don't know this person. Okay, our opponent flats flop. We end up having the 2 over cards to the 5 in the tray and the clubs. I would argue Zelzel probably is the kind of player that check raises more often than not when he has a king here, so I think we can go for 2. Pocket kings. Vegas was very good, Luminar. Very, very good. Had a really good time. Wish I had played more poker, but ultimately there just wasn't as much time because I was hanging with my family for a lot of it. King, queen. We're still going to sneak in a limp here. Very playable handed position. We're calling the shove every day of the week, though, of course. Okay, next game. Please, no more regs. Please, please, please. I can't take it anymore. No more regs. All right, we're playing for $100 at least. $100 USDs, please. 100 of your finest USDs, if you would. And let's start with a bet. We should do pretty well in this spot at 16. We are dominating a fair amount of the hands that people like to jam here. Sometimes the uber domination 80-20 feels good. I'm not sure if you're supposed to open jam sixes there. Let's mark that for review because I'm pretty sure that that might be a mistake. And then with the ace five specifically, let's try and go for one of our cheeky raises. We do hit a five. Let's start with a check. All right, 8 in a tray. Against this player, we're going to fold. And ace-9 is going in the middle here no matter what. For $100 US, potentially. 8 bigs effective, Jack-7. We can just shove Jack-7 from this position. I'm going to play it as a call here. The shove is going to be okay. Waller says, so when I won the Ontario Red Spade for the Gold Pass, I took all the money and shipped it into semi-stocks in 2024, so now I rich reg the win. I like the rich reg. The rich reg is approved. King Deuce of Spades specifically as a push here. Sometimes we're creeping into King 3 suited as well. Go on, give me something that isn't just top set where my opponent has the nuts every time I go all in. All right, let's mark that for review as well. Pretty much positive that one's fine. We are always running into it in these spots. Queen tray is the nuts, obviously. Queen tray, the omega nuts. Queen high like a boss. Queen high like a boss. Okay, we have a straight draw. can we do with a straight draw? Interesting. Checking it over. This is not so different from a spot we played yesterday. All right, we got him back under 8 big blinds effective. Ran into queens when we had the big chip lead. This is definitely a call. Wish me luck, guys. $100 on the line. Let's go. That feels a lot better. Thank you for holding, sir. And we go again. We're not going to call an open jam here. I would say in a 2x multi, probably not the biggest sin in the world, but it's probably still a fold. Just out of interest, let's look that one up as well later on. See if we can learn something. Again, this is going to be a really good study session, guys. We've already got some very good candidates in there. Yeah, we're just going to play with the equity here. We have the correct price to continue. Zintex says seems like an upswing today. We're definitely winning a few bucks today for sure. We really need to get our EV line sorted out. You know what doesn't help our EV line is misclick shoving the river with one pair. That's a blunder. You'd think the guy that was literally one tabling spinning goes online wouldn't make that kind of a mistake. Yeah, we can run this one. This is fine. So live. So live. Pretty clear. 10. 10. Queen is also good. Thank you, sir. Cool. Right. So technically. All right, so definitely calling it off here once we make the big raise. Running into kings as usual. Too bad about that. 8. Spade. Yeah, very annoying. Cool. Next game. At some point, we're going to have the kings, and they're going to go all in, and we're going to feel like a genius. At some point. Okay, heads up. We got a jack and a 3. Jack 3. Jack 3. Jack and a 3. Jack 3. Let's go. Ace Queen, let's go. Ace Queen, easy hold, easy hold, easy. Oh my God, too many outs. All right, we take the wins. Yes, please. Keep going. Don't lose. Don't lose. I can confirm, just need to know. Nania is super aggro. King of Poker always has it gets there. I'm a fish. You get the idea. It's just pretty much it. I mean, look, probably one of the biggest issues that we have with the question, Nick, why don't you play with a HUD, is I always play with the same 5 guys. Damn. All right, we're playing for $100 here. Let's see if we can win this one. Oh, this is a stretch. Feels like a stretch. I feel like that's probably a stretch. I think we want. I think Queen High, King High continues are a thing there, but I think we probably just want a bit more equity. Let me take a look at this. Let's mark that for review as well, because I do believe that this is probably okay. If we have like backdoor flush draws and stuff, obviously we're feeling better about it. Huh. Straight flush draw. KT in a situation where you should probably be attacking the check on the flop aggressively. We can't full turn. Straight draw, straight flush draw. Not ideal. Not ideal. King Jack with the King of Hearts one time. Nah, never. If he checks that river, he has so much more showdown than he has air. It's really annoying. If he has air, he just bluffs again on that board for sure. Let's mark this one for review as well. I think this is probably what you got to do most of the time. Probably what you got to do most of the time. No good in Flipsville. That's fine. Next game, please. Okay, what happened here? No, can't do this. Don't use the time bank, Nick. Queens! Queens is a good hand. Big blind's got jacks. Nice hand, nice hand, nice hand. Such a lovely girl. Sorry, guys. Let's go again. Okay, keep blasting. King and a Jable. Queens. Queens are a good hand. Queens are a good... No. No. Still getting used to the new chair. I'm trying to figure out how you adjust these things. What does this say? Oh, I see. Oh. Oh, that's clever. Okay. We're learning. We're learning. We're learning. All right, tell you what, chat. Let's fire up another table here. Let's see if we can find some better games. Stanley Cup, you're in the wrong place, mate. You're in the wrong place, senor. Wrong one. This one. Okay. Table 2 is no this one. Nope, table 2 is this one. King, queen. All right. Let's play a couple tables here, guys. Now, aces has been said to be a decent hand. People do say that aces is above average. 70%, 100% with aces. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Let's go, $75. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Let's go, $75. Yeah, let's get this one up top here. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Oh man, this chair is such an upgrade. Fuck me. So good. This chair is absolutely smashing it out of the park. Beautiful trap with ace queen. Unlucky. Let's go ahead and mark that one as well. I'm about 99% sure that's shove over limp. I should also actually double check my notes that I did the other day. So I do have notes about this specifically. So big blind. Is this one blind? trading ace-9. Ace-9 is 100% a call here as well. We can mark this one for review, but I'm about 1,000,000% sure that this is never going to miss. Absolutely never fold ace-9 there. Don't be so ridiculous. Okay, so... Okay, cool, that's fine. That does not contradict my analysis from before. This does not contradict my genius poker analysis from previous database situations. I wrote them on a page and I let it burn. All right, let me put my headphones on quick, guys. Let's lock in here. Let's play some volume. I want to hear the tunes a smidge. Against the unknown player, I'm going to sneak in a trap here, which is very, very unusual. Go on, call the river.
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Crank, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the team, my friend. We are playing spins today. We're about to crank up some volume here. We've played 33 games so far today, but we are about to play a hell of a lot more. We are about to get all the chips in the middle. Yes, mate. Yes, mate. Yes, mates. Easy hearts. Let's go. So we got the ace 4 and good on the left here as well, which is always a treat. Got a fresh game to play now as well. I'm running like God. Hear that sound, that's the universe backing down. These headphones were such a good purchase, by the way, guys. Now let's take that one out there in the 2X. 9-8 is a rare one. All right. Is this a good turn? We don't know. Is it a bad turn? We don't know. Is there a value bet on this river? We don't know. We're going to value bet this river. All right, we're sub 6 effective on the right-hand side. Jack 10 is sailing in here. Not even close, but forever dominated. Not even remotely close, but always, always dominated. I'm just going to follow the rules on the left-hand side here. Ace 7 suited is going to be a call. You can double check this one for review as well. But come on, bros. Come on, bro. It's Ace 7 suited. What else are we going to do with it, huh? Got lots for review today, gang. So what we'll do is we'll fire a few bullets here. We'll try and rack up some more wins. Thank you very much for the follow, Kisana. So what we'll do is we're going to fire up 2 tables here. We're going to play some volume. We're going to try and get closer to our target today. And then we're going to do a big old review session. We got quite a few post-flop ones as well, which take a smidge longer, but we're not in any rush. We just out here grinding. Straight into a Dominator. Limp this one. Forever dominated. That's all that we do. Whenever we go all in. I bet it's you that has the best hand, you. I bet you always have the best hand. Because you are the best man. Okay, unknown player 3x. Let's try and do a big steal. Nice. Oh, Gilly, you made me laugh, buddy. All right, we're playing for $100. Just give me an opening here. I got distracted and already forgot that I followed. Then I was like, what is my name doing on screen? Apparently it has been a long day. No problem, mate. Welcome. Welcome, dude. It's really hard to beat the regs. They're so fucking good. But I keep trying every day, just like an ambassador should. Way too good at this game, man. This guy is way too good at this game. They don't call him the king for nothing, chat. They don't call him the king for nada. They don't give him the title of king for absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure we can shove 10-6 there if we want. But it is pretty close, and I don't think I want to against that guy. So our opponent shove ace king when we have 6 big blinds. We have ace deuce, which we never fold. But I'll note that we are dominated once again. It should come as a shock to absolutely nobody. I'd like to take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody. Tens! Oh, they don't call him the king for nothing, chat. We were absolutely roasting him there, chat. For the $100, getting it in so hot against the king. Hard times, hard times. Hard times. El mejor. I don't call him El mejor for nothing. El mejor. 6 tables will be Riot. Get the Riot ready, buddy. No chance. I've never been able to 6 table before. Even in my heyday. Even in my absolute wildest dreams. What the kind of hands do we call these, eh? What kind of hands do we call these? El mejor. All right, I don't know why we're limping so shallow. We ain't folding though. Backdoor diamonds as well. Oh my god, we must win, chat. We must win. I'm married to the cards, but the cards don't love me back. Maybe love another back. So you understand. If the house keeps winning, I need more than a dead man's hand. Kings is a good hand. Give him some rope here. We'll give him some rope. We'll give him some rope. We're gonna assume we have the nuts. I think that's fair, right? I think that's probably fair. We gave him rope, chat. We gave him all the rope this time. King! I mean, there's only so many times you can outplay a guy. Don't you think so? Gil is here for the riot? Of course you are. Gil is always here for the riot. Gilly invented the riot. El mejor. All right, 2 big blinds in a dream. Wow, that is shocking. It's actually shocking. Can we win this game? 50 bucks. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Wow, I don't remember getting up to this level, by the way, guys. Getting up to this level of what are the blinds right now? 90 180. Come on now. Come on now. Just get lost, bruv. Just get lost, bruv. Notoriously violent. Goodness me, Gillard. Gillardine. Gillardine. Blinds are now 105, 210. No, that's because it was forced all in. Oh my God, the fold. He folded. He folded. He left himself with 25 chips. Now we have him dominated. Let's go. Let's actually go. All right, Gabriel needs a label before we move on. Very important we note what happened over here on the left, guys, because that player, when they actually get into a shoving war late game, they will be much stronger than they're supposed to be. They'll be much, much stronger than they're supposed to be. And that is a good thing for us. They literally, at the end there, they folded and left themselves with a fraction of a blind when they should have run any two cards. Like, the exposure to that one player in this one specific game. Oops, sorry, guys. The exposure to that one player is so incredibly good for your EV. Oh, sorry, guys. That's what we were looking for. When I'm selecting which window to open, I selected my my stars caption, and it just showed the overlay itself. My incredibly advanced stars caption overlay that shows you how many big blinds they have. 8-7 suited is close over here on the right hand side. We can definitely sneak in here with Jack 10. We're folding to the scary ISO though. Also, we got to note Freddie did the limp shove here. Was a great fold. I respect it. It's wrong mathematically, but spiritually, I feel like, it's really cool to stick to your guns like that and just commit to waiting for a good hand. Pair of sixes any good? $100 on the right. Freddie's sticking around with the 9 of clubs there. So we did well to get value on that turn. Mr. Freddy opening to 3x. A7, let's go. On the left-hand side, we're going to enter a lot more pots here. We're going to try and enter a lot more, many more pots. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that the raise is pretty good here. I mean, he's going to have hearts a lot of the time here. He might still call us with a worse 6. Aces into 10s just feels so fantastic for the hundo. What's interesting about that spot we just saw as well on the left-hand side is that I think our opponent, if our opponent is going to limp ace-king on the button and be that trappy, they're also not the kind of player that's going to like donk lead a queen on that board. Don the dude, what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. I'm tempted just to check shove here. I think probably flatting is better. Now the heart on the turn might make him reconsider. Let's see how he responds now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If he bets again, wow, okay. So now we have a bit of a decision on this river. Please check. Nice. We're going to bet flop here. We're going to check turn. Keep it reasonable. This might look like a bluff. Jack high like a boss. Jack high like a boss. So what he's saying is he has a 9 or a 3. I don't think he has an 8. And I do think that this would be an unusual board to try and bluff after I played my hand this way. This is going to be one of our large ISOs with the intention of stacking off. We can bet really, really small on this board. What's up, Money in the chat? Hello, how you doing, mate? Spinning goes are going okay today. Are there many Poker Stars ambassadors left in the main that I know of? I actually haven't been following it too closely since I left. I do have a horse. I have 5% of a player in the main as we speak, I hope. I need to double check on how he's doing, but I don't know what the running total is for Team Pro right now. I know that not a ton of Team Pro played the main this year. That was primarily due to the fact that a lot of Team Pro is based in the United Kingdom now. So this guy just rips. I think this is good on the turn over here. I don't know. This guy has been very passive so far. This is very flush draw, straight draw heavy though. I don't know. It's a bit weak, to be honest, but I think we can. I think if we're patient, we're going to catch this guy. We're doing a lot of goofy stuff against this player so far. Yeah, we can get this all in here. He's gonna bet fold the flop quite often as well. Get there. Get there. Let's go. $100 on the right is a win. $75 on the left is a win. So obviously over here on the left, we don't get the chips in as well as good as we'd want, but we end up having tons of equity where he has a calling hand. The way he's been playing is like, you know, just get to a flop, bet flop, bet flop. On that texture, I would expect everyone to bet, you know, their entire range basically. So the check jam legitimately is very good because he will just bet fold an absolute mountain. If we get him to fold second or third pair, it's really, really massive for us as well. If he has like a pocket pair between the jack and the 5 as well, or the queen and the 5, sorry. Yeah, between the queen and the 5, excuse me. If he has a pocket pair between there as well, if we get those hands to fold, it's absolutely monumental. Or even better, they bet pocket 10s and they call with a 10 of spades. That would be cool. So this is good. $75, yes, in the bag. And then $100, yes, in the bag. Is there a website to check people's status? Absolutely. Just Google World Series Poker whatever results. You can look on Poker News as well. Poker News will have listings. Oh, that's not right. That is not cool, bro. Okay, 2x multiplier. Not going to mess around with that one there. Queen 7. I think we can still play this one. Four, 5, 6, 7. We have an interesting part of our range here that he's probably not anticipating we have quite often. This is kind of a chunky bet to call on the turn here. I'd say we still have to call. Unfortunate. Give me a straight. Yes. Feels so good. It feels so good to make draws, guys. It feels so good to make draws. My goodness. What are you min check raising and then folding on that turn anyway? Okay, we're gonna do one of these. And then we're gonna do one of these. Pretty clear all in with the jacks. Sweet. Outdrawn here by Queen Jack. I think I am going to commit to the river bluff here. Nice. Six deuce is legitimately bottom of the barrel. Legitimately the very, very bottom. Lovely stuff. Very, very nice. Not folding any two on the left-hand side here. We are uber dominated because we got unlucky against the Queen Jack, and then we were forced to be short. Okay, next game. All right, maybe two more games, guys, and we'll do some review. We'll take a look at our results for today. $100 on the left-hand side is nice. 75 on the right. Six, seven, indeed. Okay. All in, but to the God and spin. King, Queen of Spades, the infinitely playable hand. The hand that is so playable, you absolutely must play it. I'm going to have a little crack at this one on the left. I'm going to have two cracks at this one on the left. I'm going to have three cracks at this one on the left. It's going to be really cool. Literally the king high float. Nice hand. Magnificent. Nice. Running very hot today. That is a nice change. King high like a boss. Left-hand side. All right, we're going to mark the A6 for review, but I'm pretty sure that one goes. We still are alive in both games, despite taking a big hit to our EV there with the bluff and the call. All right, we're still alive in this one. We're going to play this, then we're going to do some review, guys. Way too many outs. Jen Shahadi's still in. Made it to day 3. She has over 100,000 in chips. Nice. So at this point, 100K will probably be on the shorter side, but absolutely still alive. Best of luck to Jen, by the way. I love Jen. Really happy to hear that she's still doing well in the main. Still so much time to go, though, as well. Like, even if that is... Trying to think about how they ended. I don't remember where they ended exactly, but best of luck to Jen. All right, guys, let's take a look at today in chips and dollars. Okay, so here you go, guys. We actually put on a decent show today. We won a little bit of EV. Those last couple of hands towards the end cost us pretty significantly. We ended up winning 13 chips per game, which is not good enough. We ended up winning $400 on the day, which is fine. Just a little bit of a rebate on our overall negative dollars this year, though. However, we still need a little bit more in the EB department in order to justify our continued existence here in the spin and go department. If we filter instead for everything this year, you guys can see that we're still stuck in this sort of flatline EV situation. We are playing a lot of regs. The regs know us very well at this point. It is very difficult to win any EV when you are playing against very skilled players, and that's what we're encountering here. Unsurprisingly, the $25 spin and goes are a hotly contested place, somewhere between high stakes, somewhere between low stakes, but still a place where you can turn over a lot of dollars and therefore generate a lot of potential ROI. We just need to break free. Runs like this are really nice. It feels good to run really good. We did legitimately run quite well today. But we need to turn that EV line into a more profitable one. I think when I return from Nottingham and after Goliath, I'm going to try and maybe make a little schedule where we do a couple more evening sessions. It does always kind of blow my mind how rapidly a session that has just a couple more unknown faces, a couple players that we don't know very well and who don't know us very well. It is always rather shocking to me, or rather not, it's not really shocking at all, but I'm always surprised at how rapidly our EV goes from breaking even to winning, even if we encounter just 3 or 4 unknowns over the course of a session. Some of our biggest upswings during today's session, was basically just 2 games where we had 2 unknown players, and that's enough in order for us to actually turn this profit into a more profitable session in the EV department. In any case, we've got a bunch of hands for review. Some of these will be very speedy. Some of them will take a bit more time. Let's get cracking on that now. It's just gone 5 o'clock. Some of these are just pre-flop. Some of them are going to be post. We'll try and remember them as we go. And if you guys have any questions, get them in the chat. It's a little bit difficult to do review with delay, but we're going to try our best anyway. So just FYI, as I always say and always mention, I'm going to close PokerStars now. So any study that we do now is away from the tables, including the use of prohibited software. For example, GTO Wizard, not for use during play. It is detectable. They will detect you doing it. Not that we use it for that purpose anyway, of course. The majority of the study that we do here on stream is using this handy dandy GTO Wizard upload feature. So most of what we study in our records will show this on GTO Wizard as well, are replays of hands that we've already played, which of course is the opposite of real-time assistance. So let's go ahead and take a look at hands that we have for review. So first things first, we limp Queen 8, our opponent checks. We bet flop, our opponent calls. On the turn, there is a lead. Oh, I remember this one. There's a lead, we call. On the river, it goes check, check. So this is an interesting one because I'm not uploading this one to analyze our play necessarily, although I'm sure we can learn something. Our opponent turns up here with Queen 7 of spades, and I don't think we're ever supposed to flat flop lead turn with this hand. If we're opting to flat with Queen 7 on the flop, I would imagine that the idea is we're trying to allow our opponents to continue to bet, and therefore this is weird. Let's see if we're right or we're wrong, or if we have something to learn. Let's take a look. I wouldn't be surprised if they want us to bet the river ourselves here, but let's take a gander. No, everything's fine. So from their perspective, though, this is what we want to study. We're not really looking at our hand. Actually, okay, cool, yeah. Confirmed, this is all solid anyway from our perspective. So on the flop, first of all, let's duplicate this. Second of all, on the flop, I want to take a look at check back call. So big blind, Queen 7 of spades. So let's say we do have Queen 7 of spades. Like I said, there is some check raising here. The check raising happens most frequently when we have backdoor hearts. You can see bottom right there, Queen 7 of hearts is raised a little bit more often. But the call is pretty good, pretty standard. That's fine. I think that if you always call the Queen 7 here, you do just fine. What we're trying to investigate now is after the 2 falls, does the big blind ever lead Queen 7? No, it's 100% check, yeah. Not 100%, sorry. Smidge of a lead, but the lead seems to be about 1 big blind and not the way that our opponent approached it. The lead in this case was 2 big blinds. So the size and the lead just don't exist. We're not confused. This is definitely not a thing. Do I think it's terrible? No, I don't think it's terrible. I'm sure it's fine. When you putting money in the pot when you have top pair is usually not a bad thing. Just out of interest, let's take a look at this again. If we were to actually compare strategies, the EV of a check and a bet and a lead is very similar. Bottom right there, you can see it's 2.77 versus 2.76 versus 2.71. So as I said, look, it's not, I'm not out here trying to shame anyone. I just think that generally speaking, that lead doesn't really exist on this board, on this and on this particular turn anyway. So it's good that we're kind of have our head in the right headspace, but remember that, you know, most strategies are going to run pretty similar, assuming you're not making massive blunders. And that's really the name of the game in this, when you're playing real Texas Hold'em. All right, so Queen 7 suited. There's a limp and we check, and our opponent bets, and then we fold. Now, I do think Queen highs are supposed to float here. For the most part, I think it's like Queen 7 with the backdoor hearts, Queen 7 of spades, Queen Jack, Queen 10, that kind of thing. Those seem pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure that we're just going to fold Queen 7 of diamonds, but let me just double check. The issue that we encounter here is that as we get shallower, we have less ammunition to make weird moves later on. So I'm assuming this is going to be double tick. Nope, on the flop, they still want us to continue here. This is why we're looking it up. So check, bet, still a call. Really interesting. So our expectation here is that we should, you know, fold. What I will note, however, is we're looking at a 0.02 call. So now let's say that we actually investigate this further. Let's say that we assume that we're not going to take the 0.02 edge. You know, we're going to get outplayed here very frequently. If it's an unknown player, the call becomes much better because your opponents will not outplay you on later streets when they have nothing as aggressively. So that might actually jump up to like point 1, point 2, point 3. I don't even know. But if we were to actually node lock this and our opponents were not aggressive on the turn, I would imagine that the call becomes much better. Against a reg in this pool, 0.02 was probably not that big of a sin to fold. However, let's take a look at the value of this hand, assuming we have the backdoor hand, backdoor hearts, and perhaps, spades are obvious, but let's say that we are instead playing. So this is our big blind response after there's a bet. So we're looking at Queen 7 of diamonds. Let's just double check we're on the right page here. So all the queens want to call to some capacity. Some of the weaker queens fold more. So if we take a look at the EV bottom right here, Queen 7 of diamonds, the call represents 0.02 edge. And if we take a look at the hearts, you see the call there is 0.23. So what can I deduce from this? The solver will always take whatever edge it's given, assuming we're talking about chip EV. However, our assumption here being that we're going to continue with spades and hearts and then we're going to fold the other two is probably fine. We lose almost absolutely nothing here. And you can see that the thought process between continuing with the spades and the hearts, even just with the backdoor hearts, is still very solid. And the difference in EV between us making the fold with Queen 7 of diamonds and us continuing with our hearts and our spades is monumentally huge. Obviously, a queen high flush draw is never folding. That's not a shock, but the backdoor hearts with the queen high is the one that people might actually miss. And that's the one that we would have played. And that's what we discuss on stream. So this is good. This is fine. If we miss the fold with the queen there, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to cry about that one. So here's a limp. I guess, sorry, before we move on there, I think that's a really important point to note. Like, people get really hung up on, like, was it right, was it wrong? But they're not diving deeper. And I think that it is totally fine for us to theoretically make mistakes if the mistakes that we are making are very low value, as in we lose very little when we make that mistake, and there are circumstances that could potentially lead to significantly massive leaks later, right? So let's say that you do always try and play like GTO. Let's say that we do call with almost all of our queens there, even without the hearts, without the spades. If we end up on a turn and we fold incorrectly after making the call on the flop, I guarantee you that the loss will be significantly greater than 0.02 big blinds. So that's a really good point to consider. And I think that's why it's important we do more than just yes, no. Did you get the W? Did you get the L? It's not about that. It's way more important that we cover all the bases. So in this case, we end up raising versus limp. I actually think we're supposed to check back aces here. We're around 8 or 9. Obviously, the raise is never going to be bad, but if we investigate this further, I'm pretty sure that we're supposed to check back aces here some of the time, and we might have overplayed this one where we want to be a little bit more passive. Totally fine, as expected. If we were to study this and go down to 8, so we're at 8.5 right now. We can see aces is 100% raised to 2.5. Let's go down to 8 and see how quickly it becomes a check. 8 is fine. 7.5. Okay. It might be in 6 then. 7. 6.5. 6. So at 6, we start to see the check back strategy from the kings and the queens. Queens actually want to check back a little bit more often. That's interesting. So yeah, 5.5, we're going to see all check. Yeah. Okay. So we are anticipating the check back a little bit too deep. This actually makes a lot of sense. We are still ISOing a lot of our bluffs at that stack depth. The check back becomes way better in circumstances where we have very little ISO, none all in. So at 5.5, we're supposed to have this larger ISO. I mean, this is half of our stack, and then we're supposed to be all in. This is going to work a lot better when we do it like this. This makes a lot of sense. So having big ISOs with strong hands here, still checking back our absolute monsters that have mountains of equity in a short stack situation, and then playing the rest as jams. This makes tons of sense. This is fine. But we are playing correctly, ultimately good. All right, so a6 here, we are blind v blind. We raise to 3 and he calls. We continuation bet for 1.5. He raises, we fold. I believe this is appropriate on Queen Jack 3. I could be wrong. This is what we're trying to learn. I would say blind v blind is probably one of my weakest positions, as it is for most people. Yeah. So on the flop, there's probably some checking as well, I imagine. But yeah, this is fine. Bet 1, bet 1.5, it's all the same. This is cool. We're doing this one fine. Pocket threes open, and we jam, and they fold. Are we 3-bet jamming 20 big blinds against a button open here? If we're not shoving this hand, I'm honestly not sure what hands we're shoving. I'm assuming it's deuces plus very often. Yeah, 100% frequency. If we take a look at this range, is there a way to just view range from here? I thought there was a way that we could view range from here. Anyway, let's confirm our bias. Pocket twos jam, pocket threes, pocket fours, pocket fives. Yeah, pretty much all the way up to the obvious stuff that wants to 3-bet not all in. Cool. Ace queen suited. We are limping ace queen suited again. I don't know how often we limp this. We play it as a limp anyway. We check, our opponent checks on the turn. We bet 2, our opponent calls. This is all going a bit off piece, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if GTO Wizard hates this. I would imagine GTO Wizard probably wants to check this turn a fair amount, but let's see what happens. Once we arrive on the river, we end up check calling. I don't think our opponent has a 9 when they check back the flop and they call the turn. Sometimes I think it's absolutely possible. I'm not saying they never have a 9, but I would say they almost never have a flush draw or a king. I don't think a 7 ever bets this river after we lead the turn, though. So this is why it starts to become difficult for them to have a hand. I don't think they have a flush draw often. I don't think they have a king often at all. I think they have less 9s, and I think they never bet a 7. So it's going to be the super unlikely trip deuces, or it's going to be a missed flush draw on the river, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised if GTO wants us to check flop, check turn. Okay, so yeah, sorry, just going straight to the pre-flop. They already want us to raise. Like I said, I don't know how much limping we're supposed to do here properly. Let's assume that we're playing this hand as ace-queen, however, right? Let's say that we have ace-queen off instead. This is a hand that we do trap some of the time. So let's play it out like that. Ace-queen, we decided to call. Let's just try and get as close as we can to sort of reality. Our opponent checks, and the flop is... The flop is... King, deuce, 9, 2 spades, 1 club. Is it club or spade? Club. All right, so then ace queen, gonna do some betting, gonna do some checking, fine. So let's say that we do decide to play it as a check. The turn is the 7 of, this is annoying. Turn is the 7 of spades. Oh, have I done this wrong? It's spade, spade, spade. Sorry, that makes more sense. So actually, let's go back to here first. Yep, still a lot of checking here. Fine. Let's do the turn, which is now the 7 of spades. Small blinds. Yeah, so as anticipated, we actually do very little betting here. There is still some of it. Ace queen with the queen of hearts, ace queen with the ace of hearts wants to bet a little bit, but whatever, it's all the same. Let's just say that we do continue with the line. Let's say we bet 2, which is what we did, I think. On the river, how do we respond now? Let's look at the whole thing. The river is the deuce of diamonds, raise, call, deuce of diamonds. And ace queen now is a super, super small sliver, but let's take a look at the strategy anyway. Almost entirely checking. So now that we've arrived at this super slender, like non-existent thing that doesn't happen often, let's just assume we're there. There's a check. He bets 4, and I'm assuming we have to call with the ace queen. Yeah, so, okay. Assuming that we play our line the same as ace queen offsuit, because in order to arrive here, GTO needs to assume that it's doing the same thing it would do, blah, blah, blah. The two have very, very similar properties here, so I feel okay about the way we played the hand. Apart from the fact that, honestly, betting the turn is more of an exploit than anything else. The limp is more of an exploit in the first place, being ace-queen suited. So really, we're not going to learn a ton here based on this output specifically, but I think it's probably fine, theoretically, assuming we are deviating pretty far from the beaten track in the first place, which is not crazy with that combo. Limp, raise, call. We arrive on this board. Our opponent bets. We shove. Now, I just think this is one of those spots against a reg where we can feel good about this. Let's see if we can learn anything about how we play this hand, because I'm assuming this is going to be textbook. Just 100% need to get it in. Fine. Easy. King Jack all in here, and we do overcall. We have King Jack in this spot. These spots are funny. You do end up actually overcalling very wide just because there's so many chips in the middle. Let's take a look at this one again. I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a double tick, but we might be wrong. 100%. Easy game, easy call. Those are going to be slightly sensitive to the fact that the button needs to know what they're doing. If the button isn't shoving correctly, that becomes a fold very quickly. Just FYI, if a complete random shoves there and then a complete random shoves the small blind, their ranges will be significantly stronger, and King Jack goes way down in value. We shove King 6 suited here into 2 short stacks, a 9 big blind stack and a 8 big blind stack. 2 folds, just double checking the push is correct. A lot of these suited kings actually perform very well once we get under 10 big blinds effective. Perfect play. Let's take a look at the specific range, how many kings we shove. So look at this. King 5 suited even all the way down to here is going to be good. Ron Kanto, thank you very much for the follow. Comes with a question. Hi, Nick. In your experience, how far can a dedicated new spin player realistic move up in stakes within 1 year, assuming they study consistently and put in a decent volume? And what usually separates the ones who move up from the ones who get stuck? That's a really good question. So how far can a spin and go player realistically get in a year? Surprisingly far. It really depends on your circumstances. If you are being staked, if you are part of a spin and go pool, if you are part of a spin and go group, your opportunities to move up very quickly are much better because you have a far greater access to resources like bankroll and that kind of thing. If you show a lot of dedication under those circumstances where you are working with a team or a coach, or however you want to put that, team is probably the wrong word. If you're working with if you're working with coaches and you are playing, they're sort of playing for shared profit. A lot of times those coaches will have access to very large bankrolls because they'll have a very successful group of players who are all playing very well. And therefore they're generating profits. If you perform well over a short amount of time, I imagine that they would be very keen to get you moving up as quickly as possible. However, what I would say is in the modern spin and go environment, moving up is not necessarily what you need to do in order to be successful. So the same is somewhat true for cash and a lot less true for MTTs. If you want to be an MTT player, you generally, like a super simplified version of MTT profitability is how much can I gamble in a year? And then how much of that is going to be my return on investment. So let's say that you know unequivocally that you're going to make 20% ROI when you play tournaments. And you know that that is always true and that never changes, and you just need to play volume. Now, of course, there's swings, but let's just assume for the argument of what I'm saying, that MTTs are paying out exactly 20% ROI, right? Theoretically. In that case, the way that you maximize your profitability in tournaments is to play as high as possible, because the more money that you turn over, the higher ROI that you will get. So, 20% of $1 million is a lot better than 20% of 100,000 or 20% of 10,000, right? So if you are a good player and you're making a 20% ROI in MTTs, playing higher is usually something that you want to aspire to, because if you can compete at that level and you can consistently show that you have a strong ROI as you climb, then you make more money theoretically when you're playing in that vein. Obviously, disclaimer, that's not how that works. MTTs are super swingy. They're very high variance. You're going to have to stomach loads of downswings even if you're playing very well. Your ROI is sort of this theoretical thing that you think is true, and you can never truly confirm it. And even the best, in fact, most of the best spinning go MTT players in the world will tell you it's impossible for them to know exactly what their true ROI is. What's interesting is when you look at very good online players, the way that we know that that concept can be true is because really good online players have played so much volume that it's a statistical anomaly for them to have achieved such a consistent rate of win. Might not be 20% online, it might be 15, it might be 10. I don't know what's possible these days, but we know that you can have a theoretical win rate and that it does move. But that makes sense that climbing the stakes is important, and that is relevant to an MTT player. A cash player is kind of the same, but kind of not. If you play cash, the amount that you win is going to be measured in big blinds per 100. So if you play a bunch of cash poker and you tracked every single hand that you played, you could do the same online. You can say that I'm winning 5 big blinds per 100, and that would be pretty good online. I think that would probably be exceptionally good online, in fact. Therefore, 5 big blinds can be any unit, assuming that as you move up, the skill doesn't change, and of course it does, and blah, blah, blah. But therefore, moving up in the stakes makes sense, because if you're a winning cash player, you know, finding the breaking point where you can play high stakes and still have a good ROI, or a good chips per, big blinds per 100. Therefore, there is a correlation between playing higher, and there is a tipping point at which you go, I am still beating these stakes. So you might be winning 2 big blinds per 100 when you move up, but 2 big blinds is a lot more than 5 big blinds was when you were playing, you know, 5 stakes down or whatever, right? So again, moving up has value, and there is benefit associated with it. When it comes to spin and goes, moving up does mean that you can turn over more money faster, but you can almost never struggle to turn over enough money that you want when you're playing even lower mid stakes. That's why the $25 stakes are so tough. Most $25 players do not have access to play the stakes that they want to play higher, because the amount that you need in order to play this incredibly volatile game is extreme, right? Let's say that we're only going to play, let's say that you want to play the hundreds, which is considered, you know, for most people is like the highest anyone plays in spinning goes. 250s, 500, 1Ks, they do run, players do play them, but they almost never run because that's ludicrous money when you think about it, right? Let's say that you're playing hundreds, and you want to have a 300 buy-in bankroll, you know, that's already 30 grand. And the swings in this game mean that you could easily be down 100, 200 buy-ins or so, and you need to be really strong to do that. Most people don't have the stomach for that, and also the games there are going to be particularly tough, so the ROI is going to be significantly lower. If you wanted to turn over $1 million in a year, and that you wanted to win 1%, 2% of that million, right? That's something. Getting to $1 million playing the $100 games is easily done. That's 10,000 games. And the average spin player is going to play way more than $10,000 if you're playing professionally, right? So getting to a larger number where your ROI share is, you know, relatively big enough for you to feel good about how much you're winning, because it's going to be measured in like single digits easily. The aspiration to climb stakes is not as important, because you have access to spinning goes 24 hours a day. You can play more tables, and they are very, 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 very fast. So what you'll find is a lot of players would rather play 6 tables of $10 games for a few hours a day and reach that $1 million target or their $2 million target in that fashion, rather than play a higher buy-in, which gets them there faster, but with a lot of volatility, a much bigger bankroll risk, and blah, 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 blah. Do you get where I'm going with this? So a lot of times people will say, oh, you know, I know this guy that plays low stake spins, and he just plays 50s. And they're comparing those buy-ins to MTT grinders, and it's just completely disproportionate. A $50 MTT reg online is probably a very good player. However, they need to play a lot more poker or higher stakes poker to hit the targets where they're going to make enough to make a living. However, a $50 spin and go reg will play millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of poker. They will outstrip the MTT players by huge margins. Like even the guys that are playing like 1Ks, they will outstrip them in terms of money turned over, in terms of total investment by huge, huge amounts. So The desire to move up in stakes is admirable, but not as important in spin and goes, especially if you have the capacity to put in more volume. And for your last question, your next question was, what usually separates the ones who move up from the fast from the ones that get stuck? So basically just dedication, and also mindset is massive. Mindset is so much more important. If you show that you're winning enough chips and you're a little bit behind, but you have a really good mindset, and your tutors and your coaches and whoever you're working with can see that you are locked in and you're not somebody that's going to spew it all off in a single day because you had a bad run, I think they're going to be a lot more willing to give you the slack in order to play the higher stakes and move up like that. If you're going at it alone, if you're going to go solo, that's completely viable as well. But of course, now your moving up is predicated on you winning more money because you need more bankroll. So let's say that you feel confident that you're beating the 5s. Moving up to the 10s, you're going to want to still have 200, 300 buy-ins for that level. So you got to play until you get there. In order to get there at the lower level without any help, you do need to play a ton of volume, because remember what I said. The ROI in spin and goes is extremely low. If for many people it's non-existent, you really have to be very good. At the lower stakes, you will have a higher ROI. As you move up, the ROI will be diminished very rapidly, but there's a tipping point. That's why so many of the $25 regs right now were almost definitely playing much higher stakes before. When PokerStars decided to merge Flash and reg speeds, tons of players moved down, and I can guarantee you many of them are winning the same amount, or they're turning over the same amount of cash as they were before. I hope that was useful. Let me know if you have any more questions, Rokanto. If you want to have more of a conversation, hit me up on Discord. So yeah, King 5 suited is also a push here, but we're demolishing this one. This is fine. King 6 goes. McCoy says, I'm a $50 spin and go reg / pro, and I think last year was 3.5 million played. Yeah, it's so easily done. I honestly can only laugh when people take the piss out of spin and go players, because yes, it can be a bit of fun. Yes, it can be throwaway. It's something that a lot of players will just play once in a while and they're not taking it seriously. But it's funny when mid-stakes MTT players think that they're like seriously bossing, and they're comparing themselves to spin and go players as though there's a comparison in the buy-ins, but the actual money gambled is extreme. And it's also in many ways far more intense. All right, so in this spot, we check back 8 deuce of diamonds. Our opponent bets, we call. We turn 2 pair, we check, our opponent checks. On the river, as I said, this is a great opportunity for us to get a little bit of value from a 7 and 8, a deuce. If we bet small, our opponent might interpret this as weakness and shove, representing ace, king, whatever. We get jammed down, we call, our opponent has king deuce, because of course they do. I just want to check this one out. I feel like this is just going to be straight money. I want to double check that we're not leading the turn. I don't think we lead the turn on this board. Okay. So pre-flop, all good, of course. This is what we're going to do most of the time, is a check. Once we arrive here, our opponent bets. This might be a check raise board, in fact. Yeah, this is fine. So we end up calling. Again, the EV is exactly the same. I'm not concerned about this. Once we arrive on the turn, 100% check. 100% check, good. Our opponent checks. On the river now. They want us to check 100% here. I actually think that bet 1 is way better. You can see that this is the next closest after bet 4. Obviously, this isn't a mistake to bet 1. This is about 0.1 big blinds away from what they believe to be the highest value line. However, I do think that the bet 1 is better, because we do induce our opponents more often than GTO. If we jump to this point though, how often do we really think that our opponents are going to bluff into our hand here? Because I think in reality, this is where we need to be very careful about just blindly following GTO. I think that this is where reality is going to be very different from the expectation. So let's say we play it as a check with the 8 deuce. Check. Sorry, check.
Does he ever lose? This guy. Does he ever lose?
Kuvdad, thank you for the follow. So once we arrive here, let's turn on the filters. So are our opponents really going to turn 10-3 off into a bluff here? 10-4 off? Are they going to turn 9-4 off into a bluff? Are they going to... They're just not doing this. So the bet one becomes so much better, and I feel really good about this one, actually. That's fine. That's just further confirmation that that's probably the best line. Alternative is to bet 4. I don't like that either. I think bet 1's way better. Okay, so there's a limp. We shove queen 4 off versus limp. So this is probably fine. I know that queen deuce, queen 3 are more frequently all in than queen 4, but let's go take a look at this one. It also depends the way that the solver measures this one. Yeah, so this is fine. It's going to be infrequent at this stack depth, I'd imagine. The all-in is fair whack, 15%. Okay, this is fine. I'm okay with this. We just run into the nuts as usual. All right, so blind v blind, there is a min raise and we call, we arrive here. Our opponent bets 1, we call. On the turn, our opponent checks, we check. On the river, our opponent checks, we shove. I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Our opponent has jack, obviously, because we just cannot win. It's very hard for us to win. So on the turn, they probably want us to bet more often. As played, this is basically confirmation, but on the turn, they do want us to bet. Either way, we get screwed here, but I think the check is completely fine. We can see that the check is still absolutely a viable line and does happen some of the time. On the river, we never miss the shove, and of course they have a jack because... Cool, very good. All right, ace-8 of diamonds, min-raise, all-in, call. I think this is textbook. I feel like when we make these calls specifically at 15, we just always have the worst hand, which is weird because we're playing against very good players. Ace-8 of diamonds is a call. McCoy's Mobile says regs should bet that river. They should, but I just feel like they don't. And if it's that close in EV, I think the bet is just so much better. Like, I would say that regs are way more likely to be induced by the one big blind than they are to bet the river themselves. Could be wrong. We're not losing much either way, so I'm okay with it. So king deuce of spades, we shove versus the limp. I'm sure they just have a monster as usual. They got queens. Yeah. Cool. Is this also approved, sir? Is this approved? Interesting. All right, really quickly though, if we take a look at the NWTV chart pack, images, heads up, big blind versus limp, we're looking at 9 big blinds effective. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. NWTV chart pack approves. This has got to be in here. This is so weird. Oh, because they rounded up to 9.5. That's what happened. Go down to 9. Okay, even then, that's strange. It looks like the two solvers have slight disagreements. If you get to 8.5, GTO Wizard has it. But the NWTV chart pack actually has it as a 50% jam at 9. So this is cool. That means it's probably going to be to do with the algorithm they're using to solve. But I'm feeling good about the NWTV chart packs having this as a jam. And you can see that it's not completely made up. It happens at some point in their solve as well. So I'm feeling good about that. King Jack all in and a 15 big blind jam. I'm pretty sure we're just going to fold King Jack. I want to know how close it is though. I want to know how close it is. So let's take a look at EV as well. Yeah, the call is just really, really not good, actually. That's fine. It's not even close. Raise call on the flop. There's a bet, and we fold. Now, I do think that queen high, king high, ace high does float on this texture quite often. But again, this might be the case that we want to have a spade or a club or whatever, or 2 clubs. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. No, they like it. So if we jump to the flop here, if we jump to the pre-flop, sorry, the flop, excuse me. I want to take a look at what kind of hands we do continue with and if we are thinking along the right lines. So spades, obviously, like, there's some queens that we raise here. Check raising queen spades 4 of hearts is interesting. I don't know if this is something that we're doing, but it feels pretty cool. I guess that does kind of check out. It seems at first glance you're thinking queen of spades 4 of hearts is kind of a goofy hand to have, but if we are blocking the 4 5s, we do end up having the backdoor spade draw, backdoor flush, straight draw. So there's a lot of ways for us to continue when we check raise these combos here. Basically, yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense, actually. We're definitely not doing this right now. Having the queen of spades seems to be particularly important here for the check raise as well. Queen of spades 8 of clubs still wants to check raise here to 5. That's pretty interesting. We're gonna have to go back and look at this one again, but this is pretty cool. Queen 10 too strong to fold. We call that more often. That makes sense. Having a spade is very important there. You see the 10 of spades is in hand. Queen of spades. Queen of spades, queen of spades. Yeah, okay. So yeah, story checks out. We're thinking about this along the right lines. We do want to be check raising more often on this texture, though. I suppose another component of the check raise aspect here is that we have way more deuces than our opponent will. The opening range contains almost no deuces. They never have quads. They never have trays. So this actually ends up being a pretty nice spot to check raise. We should look at more paired deuce deuce X flops. Cool. Ace 10, we just min raise here. We get called. Check, check on the flop. I think this is super standard. On the turn, our opponent bets. I don't think we can fold. We have a straight flush draw. On the river, check, check. I guess this is how you're going to play the hand. I don't know how else we would play it, to be honest. Straight across the board. All ticks, no notes. Our opponent limps, we jam, ace deuce off. I would imagine this is a hand that does this pretty much every single time. Our opponent has ace queen. Just double checking some of the basics here, guys. All of our weak aces love to shove versus limp here. It's perfect, 100%. Let's actually take a look at the frequency because I don't want to fool myself here. Ace deuce, 100%. Boom, easy game, understood. Ace 9. All in from 9 big blinds. This guy is all in for a very short stack. If I'm folding ace 9 here, I tell you what, chat, if this is a fold, I will quit poker forever. Good. I want to say I wasn't worried, but that was a big statement. All right, ace 7 of spades. I think we're just calling. I just think this is probably way too good. Our opponent has king 10. Let's take a gander. Ace 7 of spades, yes or no? Perfect play. Ace 6, all in here. Now this one is probably a little bit worse. The issue that we have is the big blind is so short that the shoving range becomes very wide from our opponent theoretically. The bigger issue that I have, and this is something we can investigate when we take a look at the hand in a sec. The bigger issue is even regs probably aren't adjusting for the asymmetrical stacks as well as they should. Not a comment on this player. I don't even know if this player is a reg, but this becomes a dangerous game because the calling range that we're about to see is based on the shoving range being correct. And the shoving range here, I think, is often wrong. Okay, unsolved. How close can we get? We're meant to be looking at, let's say 12, 12, 12, 4, 12, 12, 5. This is close enough. So if there's an all-in here, calling with ace 7 of spades is not close at all. Ace 6, sorry, is not close. The issue that I have is if we take one step back, do our opponents shove all of these hands? All right, let's try and do something clever here. We're going to do pre-flop, 3 players, 12. We're going to do, let's solve it exactly the same as what it was. Let's solve it just like this if we're going to use the technology. 12. We have 13.3. Our opponent has 4.67. Okay. So three-handed Chippy V 12, 13.3. So this is the exact solve. We're not going to include any limps on the button because that's stupid. And everything else is, no, button is wrong. Oh yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, cool. This is all right. So let's take a look at the actual straight solve. All in. A6 is not even close. It's actually definitely a call. So the call here was correct. Our intuition was fine in the moment. However, let's go ahead and node lock this one now. Let's make sure we do this right. So we want to lock all previous nodes. We are going to do it like this. We are going to paint hands. Let's say that we are doing all-ins first. So let's assume here our opponents are going to raise. I feel like a lot of people are shoving from here upwards. These seem pretty good still. I'm going to assume that the all-ins, everyone always shoves all their pairs here. That seems pretty good. Maybe even the splitting this one is fine. Let's say that they are still probably not min-raising like this. A lot of players are missing those. A lot of players might be raising King 6 but not shoving King 7. Queen 8, no. I don't know. This isn't changing all that much, and I do think people will just play it like this quite a lot. Let's just say that we're going to do this. So this is a slight adjustment on our opponent's strategy. And now we're all in. Still a call. Still not even close. It's a lot. It's not as valuable, but it's still definitely a call. So this is fine. Our suited aces do well here when our opponent is shoving into a short stack here. So this is good. This is approved. Happy days. A lot of very, very good, interesting spots there. And overall, a decent session dollar-wise. I really, really would have loved to have done better in the Chippy V department. We ended up with a couple really bad spots there towards the end that chipped us down. But overall, in a field with lots and lots of regs, this is still probably very good. So I'm signing off for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's session. I will do a stream tomorrow before I head off to Nottingham. I think I need to have a word with Ruthie and see what the deal is. But I think what I'll probably do is I will probably play a session tomorrow at some point, and then I will head off to Nottingham, and then I'll keep you guys updated on social media about how it goes at Dusk Till Dawn. If you guys are interested, the Hendon Mob Championship is happening this weekend. There are multiple flights. Let me get you some more details on this, actually, because it looks like it's going to be really good. So Hendon Mob presents from the 7th to the 12th of July 2026, the Hendon Mob Championship. It is a 230-pound bind with a 200K guarantee. If you guys don't know, Dusk Till Dawn in Nottingham, here in the United Kingdom, is famous for putting on very, very big events. A 200K guarantee for a 230 is really, really good. There are other events. I believe there is a high roller. So there's openers. There's a 6 max event, which is a 50-pound event that is tomorrow at 6 p.m. There's some online qualifiers as well if you guys wanted to check that out for yourself. There's a Friday night deep stack, which I believe is going to be another 50. There's an 8 max event, which is another 50. So if you come along, if you do make the trip, there are going to be smaller events to play. The high roller is a 500, which starts on Sunday, and I believe is just going to play it out to conclude. There is a turbo and a big... there's a big 5-0 event as well, which is on Sunday. So lots of closers, lots of smaller events. That the venue does have capacity for these multiple event sort of festivals, if you will. But give it a look. I'm going to be there from Thursday evening onwards. So if you guys want to come hang out, there's also going to be a televised sit and go, which I will be taking part in as well. Give it a look. I would love to see you guys there. Drop me a text if you are going to join. You can hit me up on social media, or you can hit me up on Discord or whatever you guys fancy. Here you go. If this is helpful, guys. Let's zoom in a little bit more. There we go. We can fit some more on here. There we go. So that's a look at the schedule. I would love to see you guys there. If you're going to come and hang out, that'd be really cool. I'm looking forward to this. But tomorrow, more spins. We're going to try and get through some more volume. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. All right. Signing off for now. I love you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good luck at the tables.